RTX 4070, TE Super, RTX 5080, GTX 1650, RTX 4060 laptop GPU. What does any of that even mean? If you've ever tried to buy an NVIDIA graphics card and felt like you needed a PhD just to understand the name, you're not alone. I've been building PCs for over 10 years, and honestly, NVIDIA's naming system is a mess. But today we're fixing that. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what every letter, every number, and every weird suffix means. No fluff, no BS. Let's get into it. GTX versus RTX. All right, first things first, the big one. GTX versus RTX. You see both of them used, people argue about them online, so what's the actual difference? GTX stands for Gigatexel Extreme. Catchy name from like 2008 that NVIDIA just kept using forever. GTX cards are your traditional rasterization GPUs. They render games the old school way, and they do it great, but they don't have dedicated hardware for ray tracing. RTX stands for Ray Tracing Extreme, and the keyword there is ray tracing, the technology that simulates how light actually behaves in the real world. Reflections, shadows, global illumination, all that stuff that makes games look absolutely insane. RTX cards also have tensor cores. That's the AI chip inside that powers DLSS, NVIDIA's upscaling tech. If you don't know what DLSS is, basically it uses AI to make your game look like you're rendering at 4K even if you're not. It's genuinely impressive. So GTX, solid, affordable, no ray tracing. RTX, more powerful, ray tracing, AI features, and generally more expensive. Simple as that. What the numbers mean. Okay, so now let's talk numbers. And this is where a lot of people get confused. Take RTX 4070. There are two parts to this number that matter. The first digit, in this case 4, is the generation. Right now in 2025, we're in the 50 series era. That's NVIDIA's newest lineup called Blackwell. Before that was the 40 series Ada Lovelace. Before that, 30 series Ampere. Higher number means newer generation, newer architecture, generally better efficiency and features. The last two digits, 70, tell you the tier. Think of it like this: 90, flagship, absolute beast, costs more than your rent. 80, high-end, incredible performance, almost unreasonable. 70, upper mid-range, the sweet spot for most enthusiasts. 60, mid-range, where most people should be looking. 50, budget tier, decent 1080p gaming. 30 and below, entry level, handles light gaming. Here's the key rule though, and tattoo this on your brain. A newer generation lower tier card often beats an older generation higher tier card. For example, an RTX 406, in many games, beats an RTX 3070. Newer generation, lower number, but still faster. So don't just look at the model number. Check benchmarks. Always check benchmarks. Ti, Super, Max. All right, now we get to the suffixes, and NVIDIA loves their suffixes. Ti comes from titanium. It's basically a boosted version of the base card. More cores, higher clocks, more VRAM in some cases. Think of it like the Pro version. An RTX 4070 Ti is significantly faster than a regular RTX 4070, and it's priced accordingly. Super. This is NVIDIA's way of refreshing a card mid-generation. Like, okay, we've been selling this card for a year, AMD is getting competitive, let's bump the specs a bit without calling it a whole new card. The RTX 4070 Super has more cores than the original 4070 and is honestly a better value. Ti Super, and then there's Ti Super, which is just NVIDIA going, yes, it's the Ti version, but with even more improvements. The naming is ridiculous, but the cards are genuinely great. Max-Q and Max-P, these you'll mostly see on laptop GPUs. Max-Q means the card runs at lower power, quieter, cooler, better battery life, but noticeably slower. Max P is higher performance mode. A lot of manufacturers don't even label this clearly, which is why you need to check the wattage of any laptop GPU before buying. Laptop versus desktop. The trap. Okay, this one is so important, and I cannot stress it enough. If you see a GPU labeled RTX 4070, laptop GPU, that is not the same chip as the desktop RTX 4070. NVIDIA recently started being more transparent and adding laptop GPU to the name, but historically they used the same names for mobile and desktop cards, which caused massive confusion. A laptop RTX 4070 can be anywhere from 20% to 40% slower than the desktop version, depending on how the manufacturer configured it, because in laptops the GPU is power limited. A desktop RTX 4070 pulls around 200 watts. A laptop version might pull 80 to 115 watts. So when you're buying a laptop, always look at wattage, always look at third-party benchmarks, and never assume the same name means the same performance. Architecture names. NVIDIA also names their chip architectures after famous scientists and mathematicians. It's actually pretty cool. 50 series is Blackwell, named after David Harold Blackwell, a pioneering statistician. 40 series is Ada Lovelace, named after the 19th century mathematician often considered the first computer programmer in history. 30 series is Ampere, named after André-Marie Ampere, the physicist who electricity is literally named after. 20 series was Turing, named after Alan Turing, the father of modern computing. You don't need to memorize these, but knowing them helps when you're reading reviews or forum posts. When someone says Ada, they mean 40 series. When someone says Ampere, they mean 30 series. How to pick the right card. Okay, you now know how the naming system works. Let me give you a quick cheat sheet for what to actually buy. 1080p gaming on a budget. RTX 4060 or RTX 5060. Solid performance, won't break the bank. 1440p. You want smooth gameplay? RTX 4070 Super or RTX 5070. This is the sweet spot tier for most people. 4K or content creation. RTX 4080 Super or RTX 5080. Expensive, but earns its price. No budget, just want the absolute best? RTX 5090. Prepare your wallet and your power bill. And remember the golden rule. Always compare benchmarks for the specific games or software you use. Don't just buy the biggest number. Buy what makes sense for your monitor, your games, your workflow. Outro. And that's it. NVIDIA GPU names completely decoded. GTX is old school, RTX has ray tracing and AI upscaling. The first digit is the generation, the last two are the tier. TI means boosted. Super means refreshed. TI Super means NVIDIA had a great time. And laptop GPUs are not the same as desktop ones. Always do your research. If this video saved you from making a bad GPU purchase, drop a like, it genuinely helps the channel grow. And if there's another piece of PC hardware you want me to break down, CPUs, RAM, storage, let me know in the comments below. Subscribe if you're new, I put out videos like this every week. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.